Hello and welcome to the second part of my Instagram ad haul. If you haven't watched the first one, I will put an annotation somewhere so you can click on it. It doesn't matter if you haven't watched it, but the first video was about products available internationally, and this one is about products that are available in Germany and not necessarily in other countries, so be warned. Just a small heads up before we start. While we had mostly clothing items in the last video, this video is more about consumables. Also, editor's note, a friend of mine reminded me that I didn't include prices in the last video, so I am adding them in this one. It was something I completely overlooked. I think I only mentioned the price in the Detroit hoodie, so yeah, my mistake. The first item in this video is also the first ad from the ones I'm going to talk about in this video. It was an ad from my Instagram stories. If I manage to save it from my phone transition, I will put a screenshot of it up, otherwise it's lost forever. Around November, when I bought all the items for the videos, everyone started selling Christmas products and had Black Friday sales. So did Just Spices, who, well, sell spices. The ad was for a gigantic advent calendar with 24 spices inside, and it's both very expensive with 99 euros, but also a steal because on the one hand you would have paid almost 100 euros, but on the other hand, if you bought all the items separately, you would have paid well over 130 euros, I believe. I didn't get the advent calendar from the ad because, unlike Sophia Nygaard, by whom the two videos are inspired by, I do not have the money available to buy everything I want from ads, no matter if it's a face mask printer or every candle from Bath & Body Works. No tea, no shade, I enjoyed the videos, but I just don't have the money. But I got a few of the spices to test out, and I got a sample box for free with a discount code, so I got a good look at their selection. Here's an overview of the spices I ordered or got for my birthday. I got the Scandinavian All-Rounder, the Balkan All-Rounder, ramen spice, scrambled egg seasoning, red and green pesto, roasted potato spice, Jaipur curry, I don't know if it's pronounced that way, purple curry, and last but not least, magic dust. So as you can see, the spice bottles are all color-coded, but I've been trying to figure out what they mean, because it's not on their website what the colors mean. But this is what I came up with for myself. Yellow means contains cinnamon or ginger and mostly are like Asian spices. Orange are usually like sweet spices. Red are spices that you use to season meat. Purple spices are spices that contain pepper. Blue spices are spices that contain salt. And green spices are like herb seasonings. Maybe the colors are coded differently or are completely random, but this is just what I noticed from the collection I own and looking at the spices online. Overall, it's generally hard to shop for things such as spices or perfumes online, because I always need to smell them first, but over the last year I've been getting better and better at just looking at the ingredients and guessing from there. Of course, because the spices are named after what they are used for, it's easier to guess if you would need or like them, but still there remains like the challenge of, am I actually gonna use the spice or does it turn out like a bad spice for me? One thing that I found very nice about Just Spices as a retailer is because the shipping is really fast, and I mean like really, really fast. I ordered my batch on Wednesday and received my package on Friday. This is unbelievably fast. The only thing that is faster is Amazon's same-day delivery service, which I don't know if it's actually faster because I never used it, but I assume because it's called same-day delivery. It's hard to recommend specific spices, but if you have a chance to get the sample box, you should definitely order it if you like cooking. If the only things you use for your cooking are salt and pepper, it's not worth it. Most of their basic spices, not their actual mixes, are more expensive than if you would get them from the supermarket. Because let's be honest, it's way more efficient to get to the supermarket than to order them online, especially if you can get most in quotes, exotic spices from the supermarket anyway. The prices for the spices, wow, that actually rhymes, vary a little bit, so it's not consistent, but they are somewhere around 4 and 6 euros. That's generally a safe range. Overall, I would purchase from them again, and I recommend it. Find the spice to spice up your life. Oh god, I can't believe I made that joke. But if you want to hear my recommendation, my favorite spices are the scrambled egg spice, the Scandinavian all-rounder, especially for like fish. So yeah, I would recommend it for you. Let's continue with food items and continue to a brand that I knew about for a long time. And that's kind of a German phenomenon, and that's mymuesli. So if any of you is from outside Germany or German-speaking countries, and you have no clue what the hell muesli is, don't fret. I didn't know what granola was for most of the time, and turns out it's similar to how there is no equivalent of quark in English. I don't even know if that specific dairy product exists in non-German speaking countries. Similar to how it's not allowed in America, you are not allowed to sell like fresh or raw cheese, which is kind of very foreign to me because I love like brie. I think brie is a fresh cheese, right? Anyways, granola basically is muesli that has been like roasted with honey or sugar. So muesli is a more healthy variant of granola. mymuesli became a phenomenon because you can mix your own muesli. The process is very simple. You just choose your base and you can add anything from nuts to dried fruit and chocolate to it. I made 2 different mixes that way. One for myself, for my father's birthday, that resulted from a meme that my father made like as an inside joke, and I just was like, yeah, I'm gonna make you a muesli with that name. Yeah. Besides muesli, they had some recent additions like porridge, granola bars, chocolate-covered fruit, I think, and some kind of muesli drink. But I'm not touching that because I'm I'm not touching that. But I also have like kind of breakfast muesli accessories like bowls and spoons and so on. Of course, mymuesli also offered pre-mixed mueslis and porridges, which of course I have also tried. When I first ordered from them, I got 6 of their to-go mueslis for free, which you can see like in the ad, I think, if I can still find it. And on my second order, I got 6 of their porridges for free. Because some time has passed between me receiving the orders and me filming the videos, I don't have everything still, but I'm trying to show you what I have. Hello, we're back at it again with the live cam, and I just wanted to show you the package that I got from mymuesli, which does not include all muesli. I know, disappointing. And this is actually the second package I got because I kind of missed to film the first one. The first one included the second package just to show you how they arrive. The first package actually was the same size, so don't be kind of shocked at how big the package is. Like this is the package and this is my hand. It's quite big actually, and I'm sorry for the postman who brought the package because it's not heavy, but it's kind of really big. So I just wanted to show you. Of course, we ate some things. The package arrived a week ago, I think, and better. These are the mueslis. These are the same size as the porridge ones, but I don't know, they're not the same weight. The porridge ones are, I think, 45 grams, and these one are 85 grams each, but the size is the same. So, I got some of the flavors that I got in my first sample pack in here, but I ordered this one just so I could like try different flavors. So I just wanted to kind of fill you in the package. Like this is the size they normally arrive when you order one of these pallets. I don't know if you just order one of the handmade mueslis, like your own mix. I don't know if the package would be smaller. I imagine yes. But if you're going to order one of those like bigger pallets, like the 12 item things, you're gonna get the package this big. I have two main issues with mymuesli. One is the way how they ship their packages, because both times I ordered, the packages were held together, and they were like big packages. They were held together by a single stripe of scotch tape, and they both arrived open, both times. It was even pointed out by our mailman that I should check if everything is still inside. Everything was fine, but I did find this to be unacceptable. My other main issue is the making of your own muesli and porridge. While the concept is nice, there are a lot of options from which you can choose, but there are also a lot of options which you just can't choose. For example, they offer a blueberry vanilla muesli, but there's no way to add vanilla to your own mix. Same goes for porridge. They offer a poppy seed vanilla one, and I think turmeric orange one, but there is no way to add vanilla, poppy seeds, turmeric or oranges to your porridge. I don't know if this is a real issue or just me being petty, but I was kind of sulky about it. By the way, I paid $10.50 for my own muesli mix. The price depends on what ingredients you put in. The more you add, the more expensive it of course gets. Their 12-pack of mueslis and porridges, like the little to-go ones, are about 20 euros each. I find their collection of pre-mixed mueslis very nice. There is something for everyone, and if you don't find what you like, you can try to make your own and customize it. And while their selection of porridges is good, I find it a bit lacking. And after having a close look at the ingredients, I was kind of delighted to find that there are no unnecessary additives in the porridges. Not even sugar, which is great because some people prefer sweet porridges, some people just don't. But this also means that you could just make your own porridge. Just take a look at the ingredients and make your own porridge. It's not that hard. Because most supermarkets have dried fruits, oats and nuts readily available. I guess it's just easier to buy it pre-mixed. With mueslis, I found it a little bit more complicated to find all the ingredients, and it was even cheaper to order it from mymuesli than to make them yourself. Again, not the same for the porridges, sadly. I would guess that I recommend ordering from them, but I'm not recommending that you order the porcelain items, judging from the way the post office handles packages and the way mymuesli ships their packages. You might have noticed that next to mymuesli are two other tabs, and the tab right next to it is Tree of Tea, and that's our next product. I included this as a next product because, I thought there were two different companies. So when I wrote the script, I included them as two different companies, but turns out they are from the same company, and if you order from both, you receive all of that in one package. And Tea of Tree sells, tea. And I'm going to pronounce the name wrong because I've done so for the past 3 months. The first thing I noticed about them are the prices. Let's take a look at Mandarin Spring, which is a simple green tea. Just green tea. No flavors, no anything else. And 100 grams of this tea cost €12.90, so almost 13 euros. Let's take a quick look at another tea retailer I regularly purchase tea from. Their prices for green teas from China lie somewhere between 5 euros and 12 euros. They do have teas that are more expensive, of course, and I am not a tea sommelier, so I don't know much about tea. And I got this big sample pack of 8 of the teas. I think there's 9 available on their website anyways, and it runs me around 22 euros if I remember correctly. The first thing I noticed is that the teas are not full. The weight ranged from 20 to 30 grams. I didn't expect the big little containers to be half empty, which I find kind of deceiving because you think, oh, I'm getting so much tea, and then you open the teas and they're half empty. I didn't check if there's actually 20 or 30 grams inside because at this point I kind of given up with them. The thing I found funny is the single huge raspberry in the one tea, which is I do not recommend Tree of Tea, if I'm honest, because here in Germany you can get your tea from somewhere else, even like high quality tea for much less money. So yeah, but if you can get the free 3 sample pack, like you get 3 teas for free, do get it, because the green mango tea is... Anyways, there's like this mango sencha tea, and it's great, but all the others are like just tea. Like, I don't taste the difference, so I don't recommend it really. Next is an item that I do not have a lot to talk about, because I saw the ad last minute, and it's neither food nor art supply, so I decided to include it somewhere in the middle. It's an inhaler for your nose by a company called AspUraclip or something. The story of this one is quite interesting. There is a show in Germany in which rich people with too much money and free time, also called investors, are on the lookout for cool inventions. And this product is actually from that show. The idea is simple. People don't have the time to make these kind of inhaler baths, or some can't afford a diffuser or essential oils for whatever reason. And that's where these things are supposed to come into play. They are little silicone rings that have 2 sponges with essential oils in them, and you just stick them up your nose. The instructions say that you can use them for up to 2 hours in total, but you should take them out like after 20 minutes. At least that's how I understood it. The instructions are kind of unclear and contradicting. There are 3 different scent types available. Med, which is again stuffed noses and comes with eucalyptus and thyme oils. Relax, which has lavender, tangerine and lemon balm oil and is supposed to help you like relax and sleep better. And Fresh, with peppermint, lime and lemon oils. It's supposed to help against light headaches and bad smells. And they come in either singles and cost around €7, or come in packs of 3 and cost around €20. The most important thing is, do they work? That's of course different from person to person, but I found that some essential oils do help with bad smells and colds and stuffed noses. An old method my grandma actually used is to take a cotton pad, drop a few drops of Japanese peppermint oil on it, place it on a heater overnight, and boom! Your cold is gone, your nose is free, you can breathe. Witchcraft. Yeah. Anyways, the first thing I noticed is that the Relax one is uncomfortable to wear. This is also noticeable with the Fresh one, but more so with the Relax one. It smells really, really strongly of lavender, and I couldn't make out either the lemon balm or the tangerine oil. And both the Relax one and the Fresh one hurt, like they kind of irritate my nose after 5 minutes, so I have to take them out. This did not happen with the one for your stuffed nose. Maybe a stuffed nose just kind of reacts differently to essential oils, I don't know. My main issue with these is that they are supposed to be one use only, which is a waste of product and money, and that they are actually kind of unhygienic. Let me explain. As stated in the instructions, you should throw them away after 2 hours of total use. But I found that they can be used to up to 6 hours until the scents become unnoticeable. And they are unhygienic because, for example, if you have a cold, your nose probably hosts a lot of nasty bacteria, which you are inserting back and back into your nose every time you use the inhaler. Maybe that's why they are supposed to be one use only, but again, that's just a waste. I don't recommend them. It's way cheaper in the long run to get a diffuser and essential oils if you're into that kind of stuff. Or just if you have a stuffy nose, use the inhaler technique where you put your face with a towel over it, over a hot kind of steaming cup of water, and just put like whatever into it. Yeah, so skip on this one. Although I must admit that the idea is in theory cool and practical. Next up is a product that caused me very much ire in the past couple of months. As some of you might know, I love drawing and I love painting. And in my parents' house we have 2 paintings hanging upstairs, and they have been hanging there for over 6 years. So you can imagine that we A, grew sick of these paintings, and B, one of them got bleached out by the sun anyways. And because I saw this ad for a German painting by numbers retailer called DIY Mal nach Zahlen, which translates to DIY painting by numbers, I ordered this one around Black Friday, so I was happy to get 75% off. As you can see, these canvases are supposedly priced at 80 euros for just the canvas, not like the frame, just the canvas. 3 shitty brushes and the colors you need. For comparison, other official German retailers who sell painting by numbers sell their pictures for around 30 euros. Mind you, these pictures come in the same format as the DIY ones, 40 x 50 centimeters, but they do not come on canvas and instead like canvas like carton. With DIY pictures, however, if you don't buy it with a frame, as for example I did, you do need to buy a wooden frame or make one yourself and stretch that thing yourself. Which worked out for me, as my dad owns a nail gun, but I'm sure that not every household has one of those. The thing about buying these kinds of products online is, of course, to look at the price. From what I found, depending on the size on the canvas, anything from between 20 to 40 euros is fine and acceptable. And if I'm honest, I do not believe for a single second that the canvases from DIY were, at any point in time, sold for 80 euros. Do you know why? Because they have a 75% off sale every single day. The package arrived safely after some confusion. In my receipt they said that due to the Black Friday sale, orders could take 2 weeks to arrive, which was fine by me as DIY seems to have their HQ in Hamburg and the business address was somewhere in Lower Saxony. I quickly received my order receipt and my tracking number. But here comes the interesting thing. Once I clicked on the link in the email, I was first led to the DIY website where I was supposed to enter my email address and my tracking number, but then it automatically switched to a porn site, which I can't show you for obvious reasons. But once I managed to get the actual site, my order seemed to be cancelled. They couldn't find my package. This was the point where I assumed that I have been actually scammed. I quickly wrote a mail to their customer service, which replied 2 days later, which is normal for a German customer service, honestly, and they said that due to the high number of orders, their packages will need an additional week to prepare to arrive. I was confused as to why, because packages that are shipped domestically in Germany usually do not take longer than 2 to 3 days, and not weeks, which led me to believe that there was something fishy happening. A few days later, I checked in back again to track my package, and as I said, domestic shipping doesn't take longer than 3 days at most. And turns out my package shipped from fucking China. That led me to believe that A, these things never costed 80 euros in the first place, and secondly, that it's probably a scam. And I was sure about it being a scam up until the package actually arrived in late December, way later than anticipated. The contents of the package were the canvas, all required colors, 3 tiny brushes, a control picture on paper, and a control picture on a sticker. The canvas felt like, fabric. It didn't feel cheap. It's actually very sturdy and feels good. The brushes, although, honestly, are a joke. One of them was not broken in particular, but the handle was kind of loose, so I couldn't very well work with it, and it was hard to be precise. My first shock was how different the mini control picture sticker looked to the picture online. I assumed that I would get what I saw online, because normally painting by number pictures are depicted in their final result and not in an almost deceiving picture. What's also deceiving is that they have a 75 sale every single day. And if I remember correctly, and this is just my layman's memory, this kind of sale tactic is not even allowed in Germany. I think it's actually illegal, but I'm not sure. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. If you want to see the painting process of the picture, I uploaded the full process a week ago. I will put it in the annotation if you're curious. The thing is, if you don't blend the colors like it's shown in the control picture, which are unblended and I did blend them, you will end up with an end result that's not very pleasing. It's hard to tell which parts you need to blend, but if you kind of figure out, it turns out quite nicely. This, of course, will be very different from the picture to picture, because the more complex ones, like this one, are actually only nice to look at from like very far away, which is usually not how you look at pictures. But yeah. The thing is, I'm kind of torn. On the one hand, I do like some of the pictures they offer. On the other hand, the licensing is kind of dubious. They did have this mock-up Mona Lisa. They had a Naruto picture one, which I didn't screenshot and it's not available anymore. And they currently carry this Elsa picture. I honestly would skip on them. Get your drawing by numbers pictures from officially licensed retailers and not from an Instagram ad. My last item is something that's not exclusively available in Germany, but I got it from a German retailer, and it's the 6th item in this video, so I didn't want to include it in the other video. The product I am talking about are these Chameleon pen markers. If I remember correctly, a few years ago, these things were actually really hyped up in the German artist community. At least I noticed that. The hype died down very quickly though, and I honestly can't think of one German artist, or one international artist for that, who still uses them professionally or like regularly. I don't know what that says for the quality of the markers, but they are actually quite expensive. In case you have never heard of the Chameleon markers, let me explain to you what they are. The idea is simple: you can make gradients with these pens. That's basically the gist of it. Until recently, the only thing they sold were these pens, which ran me about 20 euros a set, and recently these smaller sets were released, which are not usable by themselves. Let me tell you the story of how I bought these things, because I thought it was very funny in hindsight. There is a Russian saying that vaguely translates to, "The greedy pays twice." Back when I first ordered, I found that the German retailer I ordered from does not sell these pens separately, but they only have sets of 5 pens available. I didn't mind, but I did mind the high price of 20 euros per set. So I scrolled down a little and I found these smaller sets that were only half the price. I thought to myself, wow, I sure don't know why it's half the price, but I sure gonna buy those and not read the description. Turns out the small cheap packs are not pens, but only colored tops. This means that you can't draw with them. I was shocked when I found that out once the package arrived, that I couldn't draw with them, but I then had to order a second time, and this time I ordered the actual markers. So yeah, I paid twice. I tried to make some gradients first, to kind of get a feel for the new technique of drawing. I was curious how gradients with complementary colors like yellow and purple would look, but of course I didn't get to test a wide variety of color combinations because I do not have all colors on hand. I also tried gradients with 2 colors that are very similar, like the pink 3 and the pink 4, bubblegum and peony pink. As you can see, that soft gradients also look very nice. I tried some adjacent, is that how it's pronounced, colors, and some broken complementaries like this teal and this pink. Gradients are fun. The Chameleon markers are normal alcohol markers, and the way they create gradients is with a clear base liquid or with another color. My first thought was, wait, shouldn't that also work with other alcohol-based markers? So I grabbed every brand of alcohol-based markers I own and I tried to make gradients in the same way. The first gradients I tried were with the Letraset markers, which later got rebranded into Winsor & Newton brush markers. It seemed to work out just fine, even with different color combinations. I then tried some no-name dollar store markers, and that just worked out fine too. I then tried the classic Copic markers, but it didn't work out at all with them, and I might have an idea as to why that is. I then tried a second pair of dollar store alcohol markers, and they did not work out well as expected. Lastly, I tried the Neo Pico 4 marker, and they didn't work out as expected as well. What I think happened with the Copic markers is that the gradients only work with markers that have a lot of flow and those markers that tend to bleed a lot. Copics are drier and don't bleed that much, that's why the gradients don't turn out that well. Markers that bleed, however, use up much faster than markers that have more flow control like Copics. What that means for Chameleon markers should be kind of obvious. So final verdict. I do not recommend Chameleon Pens. They're way too expensive for what they offer, and while the gradients are very nice, it's not something that you, in my opinion, really need, especially if you work with a lot of complex shapes in your artwork. I believe there is a way to make them work very well, but honestly, just use any other type of alcohol-based markers that are not like dirt cheap. They usually are of great quality. I'm not saying that the Chameleon Pens are not great quality, but I'm saying that you don't need them if you own other alcohol markers. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. My social media is down in the description below, and while you're down there, feel free to leave a like or even subscribe to not miss any future videos. I will probably make some videos on gaming as well as some on cooking in the future. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!